Marvel Rivals has a toxicity problem. I've noticed in-game and in online discourse just how toxic a large portion of the player base seems to be. The other thing that I've learned myself, and most people should learn to acknowledge too, is that if you're being toxic, you are probably a part of the problem. What do I mean by this? Recently, I hit Celestial 3. As a Magic main, I often dive into enemy backlines to get picks. I found myself dying when doing this sometimes, specifically when I believed my supports were able to heal, but I wouldn't receive any. Previously, I would blame my supports for these deaths, get angry and play worse because of my toxicity. I recognized, however, that I was making mistakes when playing like this. My support's job isn't to heal me when I'm super far from them, and if they played aggressively to follow me, it's likely they would die too, so I own my mistakes, learn from them, and now play better. This being said, not all criticism of teammates' gameplay is unwarranted. I've also just as frequently had times where I sit and wait for heals for what feels like a lifetime. My support's shooting the enemies, missing their shots on me, or even doing basically nothing but running around sometimes. In these situations, toxicity isn't the answer still, but it can be very frustrating. The main toxicity I hear from tank players is similarly to the DPS form, the lack of heals that I just outlined. There is another side to the story, however, that being the support's viewpoint. The most typical toxicity I hear from supports is that the team isn't protecting them enough. Now, this can be a genuine area in which the team is playing poorly, and I've been more aware of my support's positioning as a whole, making sure they aren't in immediate danger. However, support players, similarly to the other two roles, also need to take accountability when they pass blame. When being dove or otherwise focused, supports should be saving abilities which can negate this. The main example that comes to mind is with Cloak and Dagger. I can't tell you the number of times that I've had Cloak and Dagger players on my team that throw their healing orb offensively or to support teammates the entire match whilst also flaming the team for lack of protection. As a support, any ability that can be used defensively is very important, especially if you find that your team isn't helping you as much as you wish. Use these abilities wisely. Also, play with your other support. As a dive DPS player, it is so annoying to be unable to pick off enemy supports because they are constantly keeping each other healthy when I attempt to make plays, especially if my team is complaining about a lack of help at the same time. In conclusion, pay attention to your team, take accountability, and stop being an annoying dumbass. Also, one more note. If you're toxic to the support players in casual games, especially if you refuse to play support, even though your team only has one, you are a massive loser. You can play whatever you want and have fun, but don't blame others if you don't care to change. Either way, don't be toxic and casual. It's there for fun, goofy. Anyways, that's all that I got. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, like, sub, follow, you know what's up. Peace.